So this drone is a H501C drone, and I had a lot of trouble with it when I first got it. I got it in February, and now it's October, and it finally works. The problem was when I plugged in the battery and turned on the transmitter and tried to fly it after I got all the satellites and got all the calibration, it would fly like this. And this seemed to be weak. And I didn't know why. So what I did was I replaced this motor. That didn't affect it. It still flew like that. Then I replaced the electronic speed control board. This piece right here. Electronic speed control board is a piece that goes between the power board in the middle and the motor. It fits there in the arm, and that didn't change anything. Then I swapped both the motor and the EHC board to the other side, and this one to this side, and still it would fly off like this. It would. This was the weak corner. So then I figured it had to be the main board. I think they call this a PCB board. But the main board, I changed that, and that was long and complicated. Still, after that got changed, it didn't arm. It no longer would arm when you use the controller. I had a lot of tries, but I finally got the transmitter to bind with the controller, and it still didn't work. It had two alternating flashing lights. I can't remember whether they were the back ones or the front ones, but they would just flash like this. So I put all that on YouTube, and I got an email address of somebody in Hubsan, North America, and it's actually on a comment on one of my other YouTubes, and back and forth, try this, try that. Finally, they said, after I tried to upgrade the firmware in the new board, that didn't work, and I sent it to Hubsan in California for an upgrade. I sent it back. The lights changed. They flashed in a circle instead of alternately. The transmitter wasn't bound to the drone after I got it back from Hubsan, which it should have been. So I bound this transmitter to the drone, and then after with the new power board, it still flew off in this direction. So I actually have or had a H502E drone that I was flying for fun while I didn't have this one working, and that one eventually got lost, but I happened to keep that controller. So I got this controller, and it's hard to bind these. I found the best way to bind them is you hold the shoulder button, you turn it on, and then you set it right up under it, and then you connect the battery. That seemed to be the best way to bind the transmitter. But I had to try multiple times with both of these. But this is the one that works. And then I couldn't even arm it after I got all the stuff on there, all calibrations done, all the satellites on. I went like that. It didn't arm. And I had to press this once to get it to go to expert mode, and then arm it. And then they would arm. They all spun. And with this controller, it flew correctly. It flew right up, and it didn't fly off in this direction. So the whole time, off in this direction. So the whole time, this was the problem. This was not the problem. This was the problem. Now, both of these controllers, you'd think you could solve this problem by calibrating them, or calibrating this one. And I've tried with both of these controllers to calibrate them, and they refuse to go into the calibration mode where I can't remember what you do, but I know you end up turning these like these, and it just didn't work. I'd have to review to know how to do it, but I did review how to do it, and I tried it, and they just didn't work. But at least this controller, if you put it in expert mode, it will arm, and then it will fly. You can put it back in the normal mode after the motors are armed, and it will fly with this controller. But this drone wasn't the problem. It was the transmitter that was the problem the whole time. So put that to a side. Use the one that works, and at least I have a drone that flies now.